watched the video now, we've seen how you are making notes, and you've seen how you are assessing the students, and you see all the different things that are happening in the classroom and your interaction with the kids in trying to do the assessments and the things with them. So how would you score yourself on this one? Let's look at the proficient or the basic. Candidate is tentative in the use of formative and summative assessment to verify and support student learning. Do you think you are tentative, or do you think that you use both summative and formative assessments to support and verify student learning?
I think I used both formative and summative.
Yeah, because that's what we require to do. We even do pre-assessments, right? So, okay. So that will be a 3 then. This one is a 4. Effectively balance the use of formative and summative assessment as appropriate to support, verify, and document learning. You feel you've still got place to grow there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Candidate designs assessments that align with learning objectives. Okay. So, which learning objectives were you focused on during these ones that you did?
The learning objectives of how to communicate and express how they're feeling, to use the language and of our unit of inquiry, and of just what we've been learning throughout the whole year.
Okay. And do you think that you're proficient there, or do you think that you even touched on this? Candidate designs assessments that align with learning objectives and minimize sources of bias.
What does that really mean?
The thinking that I'm having is that the sources of bias is that it's very straightforward in what's happening. There's no prejudgment really, and there's no I've made up my mind, something like prejudgment really, that I've made up my mind about you before I actually do this. It's giving you the opportunity to shine, or giving you an opportunity to.
What do you think of watching it?
I think that is true, and I think that you have placed, but I think maybe we can learn more about exactly what is meant by it. It's like one of those with the grey area again.
Right.
Designs assessments that align with learning objectives that you did, and minimize sources of bias that can distort. So that would be according, I'm thinking in my head, maybe according to a rubric where there can't be any this way or that way.
Right.
It's this way.
But that's hard with the age level.
With them, especially with them. But in a different level, it would probably be. So let's keep it at this one. What do you think?
I agree.
Candidate provides students with appropriate and timely feedback on their work to improve the quality of work.
I feel like I'm always correcting, giving, examples, and I think even quality of their work, descriptive and timely feedback. I think I do give the time for them to answer, and because I feel like I struggled with that last year a lot, that I didn't give them enough time to answer and to talk to each other. I was doing a lot of the talking, and I feel like I've kind of stepped back a little bit, so then they can explore and talk to each other.
And when you give when you give feedback, do you give descriptive feedback?
As descriptive as I can with a 3-year-old, yes, I think so.
And guiding them.
And I think I use the language like we were talking about before.
Okay, candidate effectively uses multiple appropriate types of assessment to identify each student's learning needs and guide the development of differentiated learning experiences.
I think so, yeah.
I agree. Candidate regularly and consistently makes appropriate accommodations in assessments and testing conditions for students with disabilities and English language learners. or candidate makes appropriate accommodations in assessments and testing conditions for students with physical. So this one says regularly and consistently. Do you feel that you make appropriate?
I think I could. There's always room to improve for that to be regular and consistent. Again, it's.
You are not just aware that it's necessary to do
right.
it. You're actually doing it.
Right.
But there's always place to grow, and that is also going to happen the more you get to know your kids, and the more you get to know the levels, and you have certain things that you need to develop in each child as the differentiated piece grows.
Right. I agree.
So I think that this is cool then. So
I think so too.
Finally,
I think that was really straightforward. It was a lot of
and it's. I really think that you're doing a wonderful job. And what you should do then when you are writing your reflection is to actually put in photographs, not just the video, but put in photographs of assessments that you have used before. Like if you have had anecdotal notes somewhere or whatever, put that in so that there's evidence of the way in which you've, like a few different kinds that you've done.
Yeah.
Because even your video footage for CSO and stuff like that, those are assessments too. Yeah, because you're asking the questions to them and they answer so that you can go back.
Yeah.
Right, so for next week, candidate plans instruction to support every student in meeting rigorous learning goals by drawing upon knowledge on content areas, curriculum, cross-learning pedagogy, as well as knowledge of students and the community context. How does the candidate draw upon knowledge of content areas, curriculum, pedagogy, as well as knowledge of students and the community to plan instruction that supports each student in meeting rigorous learning goals?
See, and I had a hard time because I was reading that as, like, I have everything planned out, like what I'm going to do for next week, and I'm a week behind because they're learning, like I just wanted to keep going because they were learning and they were inquiring, and so I just kept with the rules. I'm really focusing on the rules. I'm really focusing on the classroom, how it's being run, the management piece of that. And this, I feel like it's for older, but I think I can.
Hold on. Seems to be Martin is writing in the car. Let me just tell him that.
There we go. All right.
Okay, so if we're looking at this, we're seeing creating learning experiences, individually and collaboratively select and create learning experiences that are appropriate for curriculum goals and context. Okay. Sequencing of learning experiences, help students learn at high levels, develops and implements what you are supposed to be teaching, planning for instruction, forms of assessment data, prior student knowledge are taken from what you've had before, building on that, showing evidence of how you're going to build. You use the forms of some assessment data, so that's the same thing. Yeah. You use evidence-based instructional strategies, resources, and technology. Okay, so you know what? We are having our PD on Sunday, and it's all about play-based learning.
Right.
And one of the things in my research about it now, and I actually spoke to Anne Van Dam about it, is that no matter what's happening in PYP school, play-based learning, when you have centers, when you have what, through everything that you are doing, or through every center, even though it's choice for the kids, etc., your central idea or purpose needs to be embedded in there. So for me, that actually encompasses this exactly, because when you are planning your centers, or when you're putting out your centers, though it's free play, it's student, but it's there for a purpose, right?
Right.
It's there to lift your learning, because that's why you chose it, right? So if you are focusing on if there are, maybe there are some students, I'm thinking like, if you have some students that are really, or a lot of your students, you find that a lot of your students are struggling with motor skills, right? Then what you will do is your centers will have that focus. So no matter what they choose, they will lift that skill through that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because that's actually what I wanted to do was with balloons, and because we're working on the emotions, but we're also working on the motor skills, and how to control our body is a lot of what we're working on with a lot of the kids right now. So I'm going to take balloons and put faces of emotions on them, and I'm going to make a set of them I'm going to put rice in the balloon, so it's a stress ball as well. And then they get to choose the emotion that they want. Beforehand, we're going to read the book, The Way I Feel, and then talk about different emotions and why you feel the way that you feel. And when you're feeling sad, what can you do to the other, if someone's feeling sad, what can you do to make them feel happy? If they're feeling angry, what do you need? How can you handle that situation when you're feeling angry? And then they get to choose an emotion they get to make their own ball, their own stress ball, with the angry face or happy face or sad face. And then they have to tell me why they chose the angry face or the sad face.
Getting back to the feelings one, but it's also working on those muscles. That's right. Yeah.
And controlling their body and recognizing, okay, I'm feeling angry right now. What can I do to not feel angry anymore?
And will they keep that ball then and take it with them, or does it stay in the class?
They'll stay in the classroom for 2 weeks, and then they get to take it home.
Okay, so they can use it.
They can use it in the classroom. Yeah.
Now, if I'm not feeling sad today, but I'm feeling happy, can I go and take? If mine isn't a sad face, I can go and pick up a happy one.
Because I'll have a set. They can use my set.
So they actually okay. Okay, that's actually cool, I think.
Yeah, because then they'll make it, and then...
Okay, but now a big thing that's coming in here is this. Develops and implements appropriate sequencing of learning experiences and use of related plans. So not that one, this one. But how you use your formative assessment data.
Right.
Prior student knowledge, okay, that would be.
Yep.
Student interest and students' learning preferences to plan and structure. So, for me, this bit comes in with that differentiation piece, right? Because they're not all at the same
level.
Would that come in with your questioning?
Yeah.
So what I suggest you do...
I gotta look at that one.
Yeah, what I suggest you do is just go and read this again, and maybe read it across again and see what resonates with you.
Okay.
I like the idea that you have there, and just make sure that, because the knowledge of content areas, curriculum, cross-disciplinary skills, as well as knowledge of students and the community context. That's your class community, with how they deal with each other, etc., etc. Supports each student in meeting a rigorous learning goal.
And another thing too is I'll change the stations for next week to deal with the emotions. So they'll be dealing with like the felt board with the emotions on it. But I think I'm only going to change one. So I think I'll only stick with the felt board, because if I change it all, then they have to learn how to play. I want them to learn one thing first and then keep adding. Because otherwise it's too much. And it gets crazy when they're learning different things, and I can sit with that one group of kids, with the 4 kids at the felt board, and I could teach them how to play with the felt board and question